I've noticed a trend lately where big-time YouTubers develop their own coffee brand. And when I saw that Emma Chamberlain's coffee brand offered matcha as well, I was intrigued. And then when I saw that it was organic and sourced from Japan, I knew I had to get it and try it out for you guys. So first, some details. The Chamberlain coffee matcha is ceremonial grade, organic, and made from 100% Japanese green tea. The website states that there's notes of sweetness and umami with a slight and pleasant bitterness. So I'll be testing to see if it lives up to that claim. The website doesn't disclose where in Japan the matcha is grown, unlike other matcha brands that I've reviewed. So you can't exactly pinpoint where the matcha is from. It's just from Japan. Okay, so here's the package that I received when I ordered the matcha, and I'm gonna open it up live for you on camera. Okay, so it has brown paper in the shipping, which would be recyclable, of course. Then it looks like we just have the tin of matcha, no other instructions or anything. Okay, so this is what it looks like. It's a pretty cute little design. I guess I don't know what this is. It's like a lizard, a gecko on there. So it says ingredients: organic Japanese matcha powder, stone ground from premium Japanese Encha leaves. It's certified organic by OCIA Japan, USDA organic. And then it also has instructions on the side, so it tells you how much matcha to use. Yeah, I mean, they're pretty simple instructions. They're not like detailed, like how to make a matcha latte or anything. This seems like a nice, good packaging. I like it when matcha comes in a tin, I have to say. Matchas that come in a tin do tend to be more expensive, but I do prefer that packaging over, say, like a little packet or envelope. Okay, so, and then on the inside, it has like a metal ring to help you open up the tin. I also enjoy that kind of packaging over like trying to rip open plastic. It's just not my favorite. Now, to get a good feel for the quality of the Chamberlain matcha, I'm gonna compare it to the Encha ceremonial grade as well as the Thrive Market ceremonial grade. These two brands of matcha were at the top of my list when I reviewed 14 different brands from around the internet. So we'll see how this all compares. Okay, first of all, let's compare the smell of all of these matchas. All three of these are unopened, so they will be a similar level of freshness. Okay, let's start with the Encha. Shake it down. I'm getting like some sweetness, a little bit of grassy, very nice smell. Now let's compare it to the Chamberlain matcha. Okay, so as you can see, there's no like extra envelope in here, which I like. I like it when the matcha is just loose in the tin. It makes it so much easier to scoop out each time. All right, let's see how it smells. This one is smelling less sweet to me. Maybe a little more savory. Maybe slightly less grassy. Okay, finally, the Thrive ceremonial grade. Overall, this one has, I would say, just more of a dull smell. It's not like hitting me with like an intense matcha smell. It smells almost a little more dusty, I would say. Definitely less sweet. Very interesting. They smell similar though, not like a crazy difference. Okay, so now I'm gonna scoop some of each out into a little bowl so that I can compare the colors. Okay, first blush, the Chamberlain matcha is looking brighter, less yellow than the other two. I would say that the Encha looks darker and maybe like a little more yellow. And the Thrive, also, the Thrive one doesn't look darker necessarily, but it does look more yellow. So I would say, so far the Chamberlain matcha is looking more vibrant than the other two. Okay, let's move on to the taste test. I'll be mixing 1/4 teaspoon of each matcha powder with 2 ounces of hot water. And then I'll whisk it together for 20 seconds. I'll wipe off the spoon between each scoop so there's no contamination. Okay, then I'll add the water. 2 ounces. Okay, so now I'll whisk each of them up for 20 seconds each. Looking good. This is an arm workout. Beautiful. Okay, let's get into tasting this. Now, some tasting notes that you can look for when you are trying out matcha are grassy, bitter, sweet, savory, umami, astringent, and chocolate. You can also be looking out for the intensity of the flavor as well as the texture. Okay, let's start with the Encha matcha. Give it a little swirl. Smells delicious. I'm getting a little bit of bitterness. It's just like this nice mellow, yeah, like almost like a sweet flavor. I would say maybe a little bit of umami. Let's move on to the Chamberlain matcha. Give it a swirl. And I would say, yes, it still is looking a little bit brighter maybe than the Encha. Oh wow, it's so different. I would say that it has maybe more of like a grassy flavor. I would say less sweet. It's maybe slightly more bitter, maybe slightly more astringent. Very similar levels of bitterness and astringency though. Okay, and then finally, let's try the Thrive Market Ceremonial. Give it a swirl. I would say this is probably more similar to the Encha. I would say, compared to the Chamberlain, I would say that the Thrive and the Encha almost have like, I don't want to say like a soapy taste, but kind of similar to that. I would say the bitterness doesn't hit you right away with the Thrive, whereas I would say with the Chamberlain matcha, the bitterness probably hits you more like mid-sip, whereas I would say with the Thrive and the Encha, the bitterness kind of hits you at the end. All very good though. There's not a bad matcha here. Okay, now that I've tried all of them with just hot water, I'm gonna try each of them as a matcha latte as well, which is my preferred way of drinking matcha. So I'll mix half a teaspoon of matcha with 1 to 2 teaspoons of hot water. Half a teaspoon each. Make sure to wipe it off between each scoop. I transferred the matcha to the latte cups. All right, so I've made these all into a latte. Okay, let's give them all a taste as a latte. This time we're gonna start again with the Encha. Very nice. I like that a lot. Okay, let's move on to the Chamberlain. I like that. It's like a very like, how shall I put it? Like a nice round flavor. You're not getting like all of one note. It's kind of more just like these different notes of matcha blended together. That's very nice. Okay, and then last, the Thrive Market. Also very good. Very nice. Maybe there's less sweetness in this one than say like the Encha. Honestly, these are all so similar though. I'm really having to try to like search to pick out the differences. Yeah, they're really similar, especially with the milk added in. All right, I'm just gonna cleanse my palate and then I'm gonna give it one more go. Okay, now I'm gonna start with the Thrive this time. Very nice. Also very nice. I think that I am experiencing the bitterness more at the front with the Chamberlain matcha still. Very good, but I do think that it seems to me like the Encha and the Thrive are a little more of a subtle flavor, whereas the Chamberlain is a little more punchy, I guess I would say. They're so similar though. I think I gotta be done. I'm getting full. So I would say that overall, there are subtle differences in the flavor, but really these three taste really similar, especially when you add the milk. Okay, but now let's look at the price breakdown. With shipping and taxes, a 30-gram tin of matcha from Chamberlain Coffee set me back $30.06. So that's very slightly over $1 per gram. But there is the option to subscribe and save with the Chamberlain matcha, and if you opt for that, it's more about $20 per tin, which works out to about 69 cents per gram. The Thrive Market Ceremonial Matcha, on the other hand, is $9.99 for 20 grams, which works out to about 50 cents per gram. And the Encha matcha is $19.90 for 30 grams on Amazon, which is about 66 cents per gram. But Encha also offers subscribe and save on their website, which brings the cost down to $16.32 for 30 grams, or about 54 cents per gram. So the Chamberlain matcha is more expensive than the Thrive and Encha matchas, but compared to other matcha brands, is actually pretty reasonably priced. High quality matcha can sometimes set you back $30, $40 or more per 30-gram tin. So all three of these matchas are a reasonable price for ceremonial grade matcha. Now, if you prefer matcha to come in a tin, then the Chamberlain matcha is obviously going to be the winner here. If you choose the subscribe and save option with the Chamberlain matcha, it will be 19 cents more per gram versus the Thrive Market matcha, but maybe that's worth it to you to get the tin. I personally prefer the tin to the envelope, but you'll have to make that decision for yourself. Is it worth it to pay more money? So in conclusion, I am impressed with the Chamberlain matcha. I would recommend it. It seems like a good matcha. It's not the absolute best bang for your buck, but it is a reasonable price for high quality ceremonial grade organic matcha from Japan. Now, if you'd like to preview a few more brands before deciding which matcha to purchase, then make sure to check out my blind taste test of 14 matcha powders from around the internet.